The history of the Levant.
Mesolithic period. 9000 BCE. The Levant was inhabited by a culture called Nachfian, who were cave-dwelling, hunter-gatherers. Neolithic period. 7500 BCE. Humans began domestication of animals, cultivating crops, and building small towns, for example Jericho, a hub of activity in 7500 BCE. Chalcolithic Age. 4000 to 3000 BCE. Casulians began settling the southern region coming from the Jordan Valley. First settlement in the city that would later be known as Jerusalem. Pre-dynastic period, establishment of Canaan. 3000 BCE. More settlement in central and northern region. Mostly original Semitic population, often identified as Canaanites, pre-Israelite inhabitants, later known as Phoenicians. Who were the Canaanites? A Semitic-speaking civilization living in the region of southern Levant in late 3000 BCE. The name Canaan is geography associated with the biblical Promised Land. Archaeological findings suggests that the Israelite culture largely overlapped with, and derived from Canaanite culture. In short, Israelite culture was largely Canaanite in nature. Towns emerge. 2002, 1350 BCE. Towns begin emerging, and agriculture is established, similar to Mesopotamia. Heavy Egyptian influence arrives in the region. Egyptian armies begin to establish a stable administration maintained through successive reigns of Egyptian leaders. First Israelite tribes. 1200 to 1037 BCE. Israelite tribes begin to settle Canaan along with other semi-nomadic Hebrew tribes already in Canaan, including the Philistines, Edomites, Moabites, and the Ammonites. These last three groups were considered fellow Hebrews. All these tribes begin settling Canaan after the removal of Egyptian rule, and before the Israelite inflow in the coming period. The land of Israel. 900 BCE. For several hundred years, the land of Israel was organized into a confederacy of 12 tribes, ruled by a series of judges. After that, came the Israelite monarchy, established in 1037 BCE, under Saul. The Kingdom of Israel. 1030 to 957 BCE. The establishment of the kingdom marked a transition from a loose confederation of tribes, to a centralized monarchy. Saul's reign was followed by that of King David, whose military conquests expanded the kingdom's territory. First temple was built by Solomon in 957 BCE. Assyrian conquest. 720 to 586 BCE. The Assyrian ruler Tiglath-Pileser III conquered the northern kingdom of Israel in 720 BCE. Since no historical record accounts for the fate of the northern tribes, they are known as the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Babylonian conquest. 587 BCE. The kingdom of Judah was conquered by the Babylonian army in 587 BCE, and the first temple was destroyed. The elite of the kingdom, and many of their people were exiled to Babylon, where the religion developed outside their traditional temple. Babylonian exile. 587 to 538 BCE. After the fall of Jerusalem, Babylonia would become the focus of Judaism for some 1400 years. It became the center of Jewish life, and remained all the way up to the 11th century, when the cultural and scholarship centrality began to move to Europe. Persian conquest. 538 to 332 BCE. After a few generations, and with the conquest of Babylonia in 540 BC by the Persian Empire, some adherents led by prophets Ezra and Nehemiah, returned to their homeland and traditional practices. The Second Temple built in 516 BCE. Hellenistic conquest. 332 to 63 BCE. In 332 BCE, Alexander the Great of Macedon conquered the region as part of his campaign against the Persian Empire. After his death in 322 BCE, his generals divided the empire, and Judea became a frontier region between the Seleucid Empire and Ptolemaic Kingdom in Egypt. Roman conquest. 64 BCE to 328 CE. In 63 BCE, Roman general Pompey conquered Israel, ending Hasmonean rule. After a period of semi-autonomy, in 70 CE, the Romans under Titus captured Jerusalem, destroyed the Second Temple, and quelled Jewish revolts, leading to Roman control of the region for centuries. Byzantine conquest. 324 to 638 CE. Early in the 4th century, the Roman Empire split, and Constantinople became the capital of the East Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire. Under the Byzantines, Christianity was adopted as the official religion in Jerusalem. Arab conquest. 638 to 1099 CE. In 638 CE, the Byzantine Empire lost the Levant to the Arab Islamic Empire. At the time of the Arab conquest in the 7th century, the majority of the population was Jewish or Samaritan. According to one estimate, the Jews numbered between 300,000 and 400,000 at the time. Crusades conquest. 1099 to 1291 CE. In 1095, Pope Urban II called upon Christians to wage a holy war, and recapture Jerusalem from Muslim rule. Responding to this call, Christians launched the First Crusade in the same year, a military campaign aimed at retaking the Holy Land, ultimately resulting in the successful siege and conquest of Jerusalem in 1099. Mamluk conquest. 1291 to 1517 CE. Between 1258 and 1291, the region was the frontier between Mongol invaders and the Mamluks of Egypt. The conflict impoverished the country and severely reduced the population. In Egypt, a caste of warrior slaves, known as the Mamluks, gradually took control of the kingdom. Ottoman conquest. 1517 to 1917 CE. Turkish Sultan Selim I conquered the region in 1517, becoming a part of the province of Ottoman Syria for the next 4 centuries, first as the Damascus Alley, and later as the Syria Viale. The British Mandate. 1917 to 1948 CE. The British Mandate, including the Balfour Declaration, was confirmed by the League of Nations in 1922, and came into effect in 1923. The Levant, in effect, came under British rule. In 1924, Britain signed a treaty in which the United States endorsed the terms of the British Mandate, to facilitate the return of the Jewish people to their ancestral homeland. The State of Israel. 1948 to the present day. The State of Israel was established on May 14, 1948, following the United Nations approval of a partition plan for the British Mandate. Independence led to the Arab-Israeli War against Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Iraq. The nascent Israel Defense Forces repulsed the Arab armies and confirmed Israel's borders for a Jewish state.
Throughout the history of the Levant, from 3500 BCE to the present day, there has never been an independently sovereign state named Palestine. The term Palestine has historical roots, notably as a Roman province, but it did not signify a distinct, enduring nation-state. The region, and neighboring territories, has seen a succession of conquering empires and entities, but it lacked continuous, self-governing sovereignty. Like many geographical regions such as Mesopotamia, Scandinavia or the Balkans, Palestine has been used to describe a historical geographic area without representing a sustained, autonomous political entity. Thank you for watching.